What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the Fight IQ channel. Today we're coming back for another episode of the Fight IQ show. Today's gonna be a bit special. I will not do a top 5 from last weekend. I think it's too late for that. Sorry, I didn't have time to make the video earlier, so I will just do a top 5 fights to watch next weekend. Just before that, I will have a few words about last weekend fights. I think there is too much that happened to not say anything. So let's get ready to rumble. So last weekend we had the UFC fight night in Austin and the Garcia vs Duarte boxing card. Let's start with the UFC. Amazing card, a lot of great fights, they were all entertaining. So crazy comeback from Rodolfo Bellato, winning via TKO after almost being stopped against Gutierrez. Then we had back-to-back KOs via slam. The first one from Drakkar Klose, who dropped Solecki on the side of the head, exiting an armbar, and then Cody Brundage slamming Reese to exit a triangle choke. So it's not something you see that often, really spectacular, but yeah, that was amazing. Then beautiful performance from Miesha Tate. She dominated for a comeback in the octagon against Julia Avila. She succeeded to submit her in the third round via a rear naked choke. Then Stoltzfus, that looked really great in his fight against Soriano. He succeeded to put him out in the second round via a rear naked choke too. Good battle between Clay Guida and Joaquim Silva. Silva getting the W via decision, but really hats off to Guida, 41 years old, still looking great, competing at the highest level in MMA. Brady got back in the win column. He really out-wrestled Kelvin Gastelum, and he submitted him in the third round with a Kimura. Then we had a great fight between Figueiredo and Font, the Brazilian getting the win quite logically, showing that he will be a real danger for this weight class. But Font still showed up great. I think he just lost to the better fighter that night, but always exciting to see Rob Font in the cage, and I can't wait to see him again. Impressive win from Jalen Turner in the co-main event. He jumped in on short notice, not with a full camp, and knocked out really dangerous opponents and tough like Bobby Green. Horrible stoppage from the referee, who stepped in to stop the fight way too late. He allowed too much damage to be dropped on Bobby Green. So I hope there will be investigation on that ref, because yeah, that can be really dangerous for fighters. To finish this beautiful fight night, Tsarukyan knocked out Beneil Dariush after just 1 minute in the fight with a brutal right hand after faking a knee to the head. Beautiful execution. That's a big statement made by Tsarukyan. I think he's really close from getting a title fight. The Garcia vs Duarte card was kind of cool. I'm a bit disappointed that Davis vs Barroso didn't happen. Davis had some visa issues, but we saw that Schofield was confirming that there will be somebody to look out for. He stopped his opponent in the first round. And then we had Garcia coming back with a win, stopping Duarte in the 8th round. He showed that he was still fast as before. I think he has more power now. Duarte was not an easy opponent to beat. He showed really some good stuff. I think he caused troubles to Garcia. He had a lot of power as well. And I think he highlighted some flaws in Garcia's game that he will have to correct. And to finish, this weekend I watched also the Lux Fight League 38. So that's a Mexican promotion who showed some really great fights. The main card was really good, high level. There were some interesting matchups, and we got some crazy highlights. For example, Kike Gonzalez KO'd Cuellar with a devastating punch. Then we had also Luis Marquez knocking out Flores. Also like crazy scary, that knockout. It was also a great upset, because I think Flores was clearly the favorite. We had Bravo staying undefeated after submitting David Perez. Ana Ramos causing the first defeat of Solange Vera after 3 really good rounds. Prieto submitted Amaya. He had a great BJJ. I'm kind of excited to see that guy again in the cage. And finally, Juan Diaz dominated the fight for the bantamweight belt in the main event versus Jose Raura. I really recommend to watch this event, and I think in the future I will be paying more attention to the Lux Fight League. As you know, they also revealed some fighters that are now in the UFC, like for example Diego Lopez. even Alexa Grasso, so I think it's worth watching. Now let's go to the top 5 fights from the coming weekend. Number 5, Keita versus Nico Samsonidse. It will be the main event of Octagon 50. It will be Saturday 9th at Ostrava in Czech Republic. It will also be for the vacant featherweight title. It's a really exciting matchup between two great European featherweights. First we have Keita, is 25 years old, 11-1, 7 KO or TKO. He's pro since 2019. He started his pro career on a 10 fights winning streak. He entered Octagon MMA in 2021. He's 5-1 there in less than 2 years. Also has 4 finishes in that promotion. Is a super powerful striker. His only loss is due to an injury during his last fight last July. He will face a really tough opponent, Nico Samsonidse. He is 28 years old, 10-2, 9 finishes, 3 KO, TKO and 6 submissions. He's a really good grappler. He did his first steps on the German scene with the GMC promotion or We Love MMA. He's at Octagon MMA since 2023. He's 2-0 there. He won his last fight via a triangle choke versus Nikolai Antea last September. I think it will be a high-paced fight, a lot of wrestling, grappling exchanges to be expected, but one shot is all it takes for Keita. I think he's actually my favorite on this one, and I think he will win via KO. Number 4, Anthony Smith versus Khalil Rountree Jr. The co-main event of the UFC Fight Night that will be Saturday 9th in Las Vegas. Those two guys are present in the UFC for a very long time, and there are 2 ranked light heavyweights. First we have Anthony Lionheart Smith, 55 pro fights. That's crazy, that's huge. He has 20 fights inside the UFC. He's 12-8 there with 10 finishes. Smith fought everybody at 205. He was never hiding from anybody. He got wins over Hector Lombard, Rashad Evans, Shogun Rua, Gustafsson, Jimmy Crute, and more recently Ryan Spann. He also fought memorable wars versus Thiago Santos, John Jones, Glover Teixeira, and Johnny Walker. To be honest, in his recent fights, I think he looked a bit fragile. I think he will really show his better self for that fight. It will be needed against an opponent like Khalil Rountree Jr. Rountree entered the UFC via the Ultimate Fighter 23, where he lost in the final. After that, he went 8-5 in the promotion with 6 finishes. He seems to have found his rhythm and flow now. He's on a 4 fights winning streak with 3 finishes. Those finishes including memorable scary stomp kick versus Bukauskas and his last win versus Dokaus in August. I would actually go with Rountree Jr. on this one. I think he has this ability to damage his opponents early in the fight and put them away. Also, Smith looks more permeable to damages these days. In his last fight, he didn't seem that confident in his body, so let's see what happened. Number 3, Franz Mlambo versus Kakhorov. It will be the co-main event of the PFL Europe, Friday 8th in Dublin for the bantamweight title. This one is definitely unmissable. It's 2 of the best bantamweights in Europe, and I think they could easily do the PFL World Tournament as well. First we have Franz Mlambo, 15-5, is pro since 2015, fought in a lot of great organizations, Brave CF, Bellator and now PFL. Showcase his great skills and how complete he is during the tournament. He had a great performance at the PFL in Paris versus Mokhtar Benkassi, securing his spot in the finals. You're curious, you want to know more about him, so go check the Fight IQ Unplugged we did together. Against him, Kakhorov. Kakhorov is 11-1, 7 finishes. He started his career in Germany, getting dominant wins at GMC and NFC. After a couple of Bellator fights where he had his first loss, he entered the PFL Europe tournament. He had 2 dominant wins there, showcased his strengths and great grappling. I think it's gonna be a really close fight. I see it definitely go to the distance. I think it's gonna be a close fight. I definitely see it going to the decision, and in that case, I'd say Franz Mlambo. I think he's really more elusive and versatile, but he will have to be careful with Kakhorov's grappling. Number 2, Song Yadong versus Chris Gutierrez. Main event of the UFC Fight Night, Saturday 9th in Las Vegas. Another bantamweight clash. Once again, two highly skilled and complete fighters. Song Yudong is only 26, but he will complete his 30 years fight versus Gutierrez. He's at UFC since 2017. He's 9 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw there with 6 finishes. He fought high-level competition. He won versus Chito Vera. He knocked out Marlon Moraes. He lost the war versus Corey Sandhagen, and he KO'd Ricky Simon in the 5th round last April. He's a really well-rounded fighter, really good wrestler as well, and powerful striker. He will face another high-level striker in the person of Chris Gutierrez. He's at the UFC since 2019, 8 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw there with 3 finishes. So since last year, he had some great performances. He knocked out Frankie Edgar, he lost a good fight versus Pedro Munoz, and he dominated Alatong Ailey with his kick arsenal last October. I see Gutierrez as the better striker in that one, but Song has that one punch power and strong grappling skills. Also, he faced tougher opposition in his career, so I'll go with him via decision, but it will be a close fight. And number 1, Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. Main event of the boxing card with the same name, Saturday 9th in San Francisco, and it will be for the WBC World Super Lightweight title. It's the best fight of the weekend for sure. High level boxing. Devin Haney is moving up from weight class in order to be a champ in 2 divisions. He's 25 years old, 30-0, 15 victories by way of knockout, and he was the former IBF, WBA and WBO World Lightweight Champion. He fought the very best at 135, Gamboa, Jorge Linares, Jojo Diaz, Kambosos Jr, and most recently he won versus Vasil Lomachenko. And he's a really smart fighter. He's usually baiting his opponents with his jab in order to find openings and counter. He's also really fast and durable. He will face Regis Prograis, who he said is the best in that weight class. Prograis is 34 years old, he's 29-1 with 24 KOs. His only loss was versus Josh Taylor, another amazing fighter. Prograis is known for his power, he's a southpaw, he's pressuring a lot, he's always staying active and using his jab. I think he represents a tough challenge for Haney. He's definitely more powerful, but I think Haney will have the solution. Indeed, he's faster and more durable. Prograis has the bad habit to slow down during long fights and is overconfident in his chin. He leaves it unprotected a lot, and I think that's dangerous versus someone like Devin Haney. I even think that Haney will make a statement and knock Prograis out, especially with the bad blood they've been building. I really recommend to watch the All Access they both made on their respective YouTube channels. It's really entertaining. Also, to mention this week, there is some other fights that are worth your attention. For example, Nasrat Akparas versus Jamie Mullarkey, Rayani dos Santos versus Talita Alankar, Tatsuro Taira versus Carlos Hernandez. And I'm also curious about Andre Muniz. Let's see if he can get out of his bad streak. So all those fights, of course, will be in the UFC Fight Night. One Fight Night 17, Friday 8th at the Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok, Thailand. It will be a full Muay Thai card. The first heavyweight Muay Thai title will be on the line. Roman Kriklia will face Roberts. Joe Nataoud is coming back. There will be also Felipe Lobo, Menchikov, really high-level Muay Thai. The PFL Europe finals on Friday 8th in Dublin. Some other fights that I didn't mention: John Mitchell versus Jakub Kashuba for the lightweight title, Jakob Nedo versus Simeon Powell for the light heavyweight title, Dakota Dicheva versus Valentina Skatidze for the women flyweight title. And to finish, Brave CF 79, Friday 8th in Bahrain. I think it's a great card with good matchups, a lot of undefeated fighters. Plus, as a bonus, I have a teammate who will fight there, Cekinano Pedro. He will face Joka Duraev, and I think it will be a banger, so please be sure to tune up for that fight. So that was it for this video. Sorry that it was a bit different than usual. Next week I will come back to my original schedule. I hope that you know what to watch now. If you enjoyed that video, please give a hard punch to those like and subscribe buttons, especially the last one, if you don't want to miss any new releases. Also, let me know in the comment what you thought about the crazy fights that happened last weekend at the UFC, Lux, or even the boxing Garcia vs Duarte, and give me some of your picks for the coming matchups. Enjoy the fights, I'll see you next week.